did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House? Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who, I might add, tried to destroy the evidence.
I guess the question is, I guess the answer is no.
Since
I guess the answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing prevented
That's when they first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House.
California is known
for months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
And I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The gentleman from North Carolina said
an accommodation
months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they didn't.
These documents.
Welcome to America Viewpoint, where we speak the truth, defend our freedoms, and fight for the values that made this nation great. No censorship, no woke spin, just bold, unfiltered commentary from real Americans who love this country. If you're tired of the lies and ready to stand for faith, family, and freedom, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the Liberty Bell, because this is where the fight begins. Folks, what we just witnessed at this House Judiciary Committee markup wasn't just another D.C. squabble. It was a crystal clear snapshot of what's broken in Washington and who's fighting to fix it. On one side, you've got Representative Jim Jordan trying to get answers, trying to hold people accountable, trying to cut through the bureaucratic stonewalling. And on the other side, Adam Schiff, the same guy who spent years pushing debunked Russia hoaxes, now lecturing the committee on process and trying to run interference for the Biden White House. The heat in this hearing wasn't just theater, it was about something real. The Republican-led effort to hold Hunter Biden accountable and move forward with contempt proceedings. And wouldn't you know it, just as things start getting serious, Democrats like Schiff suddenly care about protocol and accommodation. Where was that concern when they were dragging President Trump through sham impeachments and witch hunts? Let's break this all down.
Gentleman from California withdraws a point of order who seeks recognition. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, much as I don't like certain parts of the Mazur decision, it clearly applies in this case, and the committee is required to engage with the White House in order to seek an accommodation over materials held by a private party, as they were in the Mazur's case, and seek to resolve this with the White House. So I would ask unanimous consent that we enter into the record your correspondence to the White House.
Without objection.
Seeking to engage them to resolve this. And I thank the chairman for not objecting. Can you produce that correspondence to the White House asking for accommodation on these materials you sought by this subpoena?
First time they reached out to us was 2 days ago.
Yes, and of course the author expressed the concern that these materials may implicate interests of the executive. I think that was weeks ago. But having admitted without dissent your correspondence to the White House, can you produce that for us where you have sought an accommodation, where you've sought to work this out with the White House? Can you share that with us since that is now part of the record?
Well, I thought you had it. You wanted to enter it into the record.
I do. I presume that, knowing your responsibilities, you have sought to engage the White House. So,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Produce the
recognized for point of order.
I think a unanimous consent request to submit something to the record is where the person who's asking for the floor is the proponent of submitting information that member has. I don't believe it's appropriate to ask a unanimous consent request to engage in a colloquy over discovering information or obtaining information from another member of the committee.
Great, and that's why I said that no objection to the unanimous consent request. If the gentleman from California wants to talk about that and present it to us, God bless him. He's allowed to do it. So it's 5 minutes.
I would like clarification from the chairman. Does this mean that there is no correspondence from you to the White House seeking accommodation on this material?
We've had all kinds of correspondence with the White House on this broad subject relative to the Zwanitzer and the letter we got 2 days ago. We've not corresponded with the White House yet. If we will, we may. That's a decision we'll make.
And you have not corresponded with the White House seeking accommodation ever since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material. You haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain
All
these
kinds of
materials?
engagements with our counsel and counsel, both
I'm talking about
Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the
I'm
special
talking
counsel
about this
FERS
subpoena,
report.
Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House? Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who I might add tried to destroy the evidence.
I guess
that
the
we are
question is,
seeking.
I guess the answer is
Since-
no.
Since
I
2
guess
days
the answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing
That's when they
prevented you-
first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these
Gentleman
materials
from
from the White
California
House
is known for
months, Mr. Chairman, for months.
I'm not a mind reader.
And,
I don't know what they're-
I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The
That you
gentleman from
never
North Carolina
sought an
said
accommodation
months ago the
at
White House
all
could have raised the
to
concern,
obtain-
and they
to obtain these
didn't.
documents. Because your first move, of course, is to go right to contempt. Ironically, of course, for a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena.
Point of order, Mr.
We're still
Chairman.
waiting for you to testify and meet the obligations of your own subpoena, Mr. Chairman. But nevertheless, I appreciate you're making such a clean record for any court in this case that you have never sought an accommodation, never written to the White House, never called the White House, never had a communication with the White House in order to obtain these materials as part of an accommodation. Thank you for that very clean record for the court, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
To really understand the tension in this hearing, you've got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The House Judiciary Committee, now under Republican leadership, is working to get to the bottom of the Biden family's dealings. Part of that effort involves subpoenaing key witnesses, including a private individual who allegedly possesses important documents connected to the investigation. But instead of cooperating, Democrats are circling the wagons. This markup hearing, which is essentially a formal debate on whether to proceed with contempt charges, got fiery when Adam Schiff tried to throw a wrench into the works. His tactic? Claimed that before issuing a contempt citation, Republicans had a duty to seek accommodation from the White House. Now let's pause right here. This is the same Adam Schiff who didn't blink when Democrats subpoenaed President Trump's allies left and right, many of whom weren't even in government at the time. No accommodation, no negotiation, just subpoenas and show trials. But now that it's a Biden being scrutinized, suddenly Schiff wants collaboration and process? Give me a break. In the transcript of this video, the fireworks started when Schiff tried to corner Chairman Jim Jordan. He repeatedly asked if Jordan had reached out to the White House to seek an accommodation before proceeding with the contempt charges. Jordan made it clear the White House had only raised concerns about the materials 2 days ago, and even then, there hadn't been time or need for further correspondence yet. More importantly, Jordan emphasized that this wasn't about government documents. It was about records held by a private individual. You don't need White House permission to subpoena a private citizen. But Schiff wasn't interested in that truth. He kept hammering Jordan with the same question, almost like he was performing for the cameras, trying to build a narrative rather than seeking answers. And here's the kicker. Jordan finally said what we were all thinking. You want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something? Exactly. This wasn't a failure of process. It was the natural consequence of Democrats and their allies trying to play both sides, demanding endless compliance when they're in power, but screaming unfair when the tables turn. One of the most jaw-dropping moments came when Schiff tried to score points by accusing Jordan of hypocrisy. He said, and I quote, "For a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena. Really, Adam? This is the same Schiff who refused to answer for his own role in misleading the American people about so-called collusion." The same Schiff who claimed to have seen clear evidence, which never existed, and then acted like it was all just a misunderstanding. Let me ask you, where was the accountability then? Now Schiff wants to turn the spotlight on Jordan, a man who's trying to restore integrity to Congress by following the law, pursuing truth, and demanding answers. It's the worst kind of projection, and the American people are seeing through it. This hearing wasn't just about a subpoena. It was about the principle of oversight, the duty of Congress to hold the executive branch accountable, no matter who's in the White House. When government agencies or allies of the president can simply ignore subpoenas and stonewall investigations, that's not democracy. That's tyranny with a PR team. Jim Jordan is doing exactly what the American people elected him to do: dig for the truth, expose corruption, and defend the Constitution. And yet he's being attacked for it, not just by Democrats, but by the entire left-wing media machine. Meanwhile, Schiff is trying to muddy the waters, throw procedural dust in the air to protect the Biden family from scrutiny. That's not leadership. That's surrender. And the American people deserve better. Every time hearings like this happen, the left tries to dismiss them as partisan squabbling. But don't be fooled. This fight is about something much deeper. Whether we still believe in the idea that no one, not even the son of a sitting president, is above the law. And it's also about something else: the right to speak truth to power. Because let's be honest, if Republicans weren't pushing for accountability, who would be? The mainstream media? They've turned into Biden's press office. The DOJ? They've shown time and again that they apply two different sets of rules. It's up to Congress and patriots like Jim Jordan to shine the light. And yes, that means enduring the sanctimony and smugness of Adam Schiff and his allies. It means standing firm even when they accuse you of politicizing the process, as if they didn't do the same thing for 4 straight years against President Trump. It means refusing to back down. My friends, this is what the battle for America looks like today, not on the battlefield, but in committee rooms and courtrooms. It's a battle over truth, transparency, and who gets to control the narrative. And right now, we need more leaders like Jim Jordan, people who will fight, not flinch, people who will speak boldly, not cave to pressure, people who will defend the Constitution even when it's unpopular. This hearing revealed a lot, not just about the facts of the case, but about who's willing to stand on principle. So ask yourself, do you want a Congress that bows to executive power and hides the truth? Or one that demands answers and defends your rights? Because that's the choice we're facing. This is America Viewpoint, where we don't whisper, we roar. We stand tall, speak loud, and never back down from defending truth and liberty. If this message fired you up, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the fight for America doesn't end when the video does. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and may God bless the United States of America. Today, we broke down the fiery clash between Jim Jordan and Adam Schiff during the House Judiciary Committee markup, part of the ongoing fight for accountability in the Hunter Biden investigation. If you want more breakdowns of these explosive hearings and what they mean for our country, make sure you don't miss the next episode. Because here on America Viewpoint, we don't just comment, we stand.